Welcome back to lesson 14. Yay! Keep calm and enjoy fractions. Now, don't get uptight. This is our first lesson on fractions. It really is just a review of things you've had in previous years. So let's just go back over this and have a positive attitude, okay? All right, fraction terms. The top number here, the 1 in this situation, is called the numerator. It is the number of parts of a whole, the number of parts that we're talking about. The bottom number is called the denominator, and it is the number of equal parts that a whole is divided into. So for instance, if you think about a pie, and this pie is going to be divided into 6 equal parts. That's what the denominator is going to represent. However, that top number shows us we're going to be talking about one part, one of those equal parts, 1/6. There. Not very good artist, am I? Okay, go on to the next frame, please. Okay, now you can look at all three of these and you can see that, hey, those are all 1/2 of the whole circle. However, and they're called equivalent fractions. Equivalent means equal to. All right, so 1/2 is the same as 2/4, which is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4/8. It's all covering half of the circle. All right, your lesson is going to talk about how to expand fractions, and I want to point out to you what they're doing here. I've got it in another frame too. How to make an equivalent fraction. Well, this is how. You multiply by the same number on the top and the bottom, and you will get a number that is equivalent to the original fraction, because the same number top and bottom represents 1. And when you multiply anything by 1, you don't change its value. And that's very important. We can't change the value, okay? Just going to change the way it looks. Okay, go to the next frame. All right. And you see here, this is what they did. 2 times 2 and times 2 on the bottom. 2/5 is equivalent to 4/10. And if we went backwards, we could say the same thing. We could say 4/10 will reduce to 2/5 if we did this. If we divided by 2, on both sides. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So there you go. If you're wanting to expand the fraction, you multiply. If you're wanting to reduce the fraction, you're going to divide, but it has to be the same number top and bottom. Okay, and we're not going to talk about this GCF right now. That stands for greatest common factor. We will get into that, but I just thought this picture was good because it represents once again 4/16 divided by 4 over 4, which is same number top and bottom. And again, we're dividing now, so we are reducing the fraction, not expanding, would be equal to 1/4. But 1/4 and 4/16 are equivalent fractions. They equal each other. Okay, go to the next frame. All right, you'll see in your directions in a little while that we are to reduce the fraction to its lowest terms. Lowest terms is basically dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number, top and bottom, to get a fraction that is reduced to a smaller fraction, but still equivalent to your old fraction. In the example here, both of these equal 1/2, but in this situation, you've got the box is divided only in 2 pieces. In this situation, it is divided, the same box is divided into 4 separate sections, and 2 of those are colored. We still have half the box that is shaded, just like we do over here, even though it's a different half. But 2/4 in its lowest terms is equal to 1/2. Okay? Alright, so let's look at our practice problems. We have, I think, 6 practice problems. And the first set of directions says write each number with a denominator of 18. So A is the number 3. Well, 3 is a whole number, so I'm going to make it a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. And it has to have a denominator of 18. So to do this, what number am I going to multiply by, top and bottom? Well, 1 times 18 is 18, so I guess I'm going to have to use 18. So 3 times 18, and let me see, 18 times 3, 24, that would be 54. So 54 over 18 is equivalent to 3. Alright, B is 1/6 equals what over 18? What number times 6 will give me 18? 6 times 3. So I'm going to have to do 1 times 3, which is 3. And 3/18 is equivalent to 1/6. Alright, in C, my number is 4/9. Is equivalent to what over 18? Well, 9 times what is 18? 9 times 2. So 4 times 2 would be 8. So 8 over 18 is equivalent to 4/9. Alright, and then D, E, and F say reduce each fraction to lowest terms. D is 18 over 24. Now for this, guys, you have to know those multiplication tables. If you know them cold, you're going to be able to look at this right away and say, 6 is the biggest number that will go into both of these. So I'm going to divide by 6 over 6. And 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. And 24 divided by 6 gives me 4. So it reduces to 3/4. If you don't know those multiplication tables, though, you're going to have to dig a little bit until you learn them. Those things are not just going to pop right out at you, so it's going to start taking you more time. Okay, E is 36 over 72. And again, I can look at those and I can say, well, they're both divisible by 6, but I know that there's a bigger number that will go into both, and you want to use the biggest number factor that will go into both to get it to its lowest terms. So if I use 12, and if I divide 36 by 12, I'm going to get 3. And if I divide 72 by 12, I'm going to get 6. And then I know that 3/6 will reduce to 1/2. And then if you're really good with your multiplication, then you would know that 36 times 2 is 72. Alright, and our final one, F, is 15 over 25. This should be a gimme. You should look at that and say, oh, they're both divisible by 5. And 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. And these are my answers. Notice I circled the 1/2 in E, not the 3/6, because it's not to lowest terms. Alright, great job, and I will see you back tomorrow for lesson 15.